What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. This story is called Just Because I Work With Them Doesn't Mean I'm Working, and you're at the wrong store. Hi, Reddit. I work at a pet store, and it's also where I get all my cat food from. I usually pick it up at the end of my shift, however, I forgot to do that the other day and wasn't on for 2 days, so I dropped by to get it back. I walked into the store, and it was fairly empty. So I had a quick chat with one of my coworkers, explaining what I had done with my order. He jokingly told me that they sold all of my food, and I said to him jokingly, "Damn, you're an awful coworker. I'll just get you fired, it's fine." He laughed and replied, and then a customer came to ask him a question. I headed to the aisle to pick up my food order when the customer approached. Here's the cast. Annoying customer. Me, coworker. Excuse me, hello? I assumed she was not talking to me, as I was not in uniform and was putting the cat food into my basket. It wasn't until I felt a very tough tap on my shoulder that I realized she was talking to me. I've been trying to get your attention for 30 minutes now. Not true, as I've only been in the store for about 5, but whatever. Oh well, I can put on my customer service face and help her. I need you to get my order. Now, orders are actually pretty rare, and we mostly keep them in the back room to ensure that whatever they want isn't sold. But I'm not permitted to go in the back room anymore as I'm not currently working, so I just picked up my stuff from the aisle, planned to take it to the counter, and have them mark off my order, and have what was put aside for my order stocked in the store. This was the one thing I couldn't really help the lady with. However, maybe I could help get her what she wanted in my way. Alright, ma'am, what was your order? She then goes on to list some things, one of which being cat biscuits that I can see aren't stocked on the shelves directly across from me where they should be. Sorry, ma'am, I'm not currently working, so you'll need to speak to a staff member about that, as your order is being held in the back room. Excuse me? You just called him a coworker. Yes, I do work here, but as your order would require me to go to the back room, and I'm not currently on, I don't have access to it. Well then, why did you call him a coworker? I work with him, but I'm not working right now. Do you know what coworker means? It means you are working with them. You should refer to them as your friend from work so customers know you're not working. I thought my blue jacket would give it away because it looks nothing like the orange uniform, but okay. What? He is your coworker when you're working, and not when you're off. What are you, thick? I'm going to find a competent worker who can help me. Good riddance, I think, just as my friend from work comes into this aisle, probably to have a chat with me. Yo, go to the back room and get my order. Hello. I'll do that for you now, if I could just speak to my coworker for a second, as our system seems to have blacked out for a bit, and I'll need her help fixing it. And as the word coworker left his mouth, I saw annoying customer's small brain kick in and all the small cogs beginning to turn. Does anybody have a dictionary around here? She is not your coworker. I work with her, just not currently. OP, could you please help me fix the system? So I went over to the computers, fixed them, and saw that for some reason, she didn't have an order placed. Usually, our shop will send her a confirmation email with a code for us to scan. However, she claims to have left her phone at home and tells us her email, which doesn't exist in the system. Sorry, ma'am, your email isn't in our ordering system. Is there another email you may have used, or maybe a phone number? Are you thick? I order from other pet store name all the time. Yes, but this is name of my store, and we can't seem to find you in the system. This isn't other pet store name? No, ma'am. The nearest one is location, I believe. And with that, the woman just left. That's what we call irony, because she's calling them thick and stupid, but she's the thick and stupid one. Thick and stupid woman. This story's called, You Sure You Want Me to Do That, Officer? Wrong department, buddy. So, I worked for the IT help desk of our local city council, when one early morning at around 5:30 a.m., my mother stormed into my room, scaring the crap out of me and my cat. Half asleep, I asked why she was screaming at me. Clearly in a panic, she told me that the police were on the phone asking for me. Now, I won't go into detail, but suffice to say, my first thoughts were, what did I do now? And I didn't do anything, did I? Still half asleep, I walked downstairs and got on the phone and vaguely asked, Yes. I got a reply along the lines of, God damn it, it's always the same with you guys. Don't you know it's market day? Yeah, every Wednesday, isn't it? It is every Wednesday, has been since around 1302 AD.
What? Are you gonna stop making a joke out of this?
Me slowly starting to wake up completely. Yeah, I just do get police cutting me off angrily.
Your car is on the market square, and they can't set up their stalls, damn it! Get over here now and move this damned car!
The IT department was next to the market square, so sometimes the car did indeed stay parked there overnight. Me really having issues with people screaming at me, no problem, be right there. Now, usually I rode my bike to work, but seeing as it was clearly a pressing matter, I asked my dad, who had awoken from my mother's frantic behavior, to drive me to the market square. On the way there, I explained the situation and my dad couldn't help but give a chuckle and told me, "Don't do anything stupid," to which I gave him a smile, shrugged with a Han Solo-esque grin, and told him, "Hey, it's the cops." My father snickered and shook his head, knowing that doing something stupid was somewhat my middle name. If a police officer tells you to do something, you do it, right? We arrived at the market, where people were already setting up stalls to prepare for market day, except for where I spotted the car of the IT hardware department, and about 15 meters behind it, a police car with its lights flashing. I got out and slowly walked over to the two officers that were standing near their car. One of them immediately launched into a tirade about how we were all the same and how we IT guys always thought we ran things. Which, basically, we did, including their IT. Once he paused, I calmly asked him what he wanted me to do. Again, he blew up nearly screaming,
"Move that vandangling car!"
Not wanting there to be any doubts, I asked if he was sure. And he truly nearly lost it, screaming incoherent words like a-hole, arrest, jail. Okay, calm down, I'll do it if you insist. Let me go up to the office and look for the keys. So off I went. I went to our offices where I was met by our clean/coffee lady, who asked why I was in so early. So I explained the situation and that the hardware department's car was on the market square again. Confused, she asked me, "But that's not your department, is it?" To which I sighed. Nope. Do you know where the keys are? So together we looked for the keys, which we found rather quickly. I asked if she'd accompany me down because the police were making me nervous, which she kindly and graciously did. Upon getting back down, it was clear that the angry one hadn't calmed down and that I'd probably taken longer to go get the keys than he wanted. In quick strides, he walked up to us, and without a word, I tried to hand him the keys, which he didn't notice because he screamed in an angry and high-pitched voice,
"Move that damned car!"
At this point, our cleaning coffee lady looked at me and said, "But you..." I shrugged and gave her the most roguish smile I could muster at that time. She smiled, gently shaking her head. Once more, and just to make sure I got things straight, I calmly and politely asked, "So you're telling me I have to move that car?" Now, I'd seen cops get angry before, but never turn red with figurative steam coming out of their ears. He blew up and pulled out his nightstick and took one step forward as if to indicate I was getting close to either getting arrested or getting smacked over the head. I turned and quickly made it over to the car, nervously but loudly muttering things like, "under duress" and "not my job." I got in the car, fumbled with the keys somewhat, and in 3 or 4 tries started the car. I waited about a minute and then the car sputtered forward and stopped. I tried again the car sputtered, but then it took off, like a freaking rocket. All I remember from the short drive is seeing our cleaning/coffee lady bursting out laughing as I passed her just before I plowed into the police car. As I was getting out, somewhat dazed, I saw the 2 police officers stand there, white as sheets and utterly perplexed. I stammered at them the immortal words, I don't know how to drive, man. I just pick up phones and help people." So yes, they'd called the only person in all the IT departments that didn't have a driver's license and just worked on the phones. And one that doesn't really like the police nor getting woken up hours before I have to get up. I suffered no consequences as there were CCTV cameras filming it all, with audio, which I of course knew, and our cleaning/coffee lady clearly heard the cop order me to move the car. Having known the mayor since I was 12 helped too, of course. So the moral of the story is, always do what the police tell you to do. Okay, now I might be stupid, which you guys are always quick to call me out on, but the police officer seemed to have used intimidation tactics, which is pretty darn illegal as far as I know. Again, I could be stupid, but let me know. I hope I ruined their vacation. 20 years ago, I worked IT for a show ticket company. We had a number of manned kiosks throughout the casinos in the city. A big portion of my job was setting up and replacing computers at these locations. We got a call from one of our bigger locations that the new ticket agent was starting but didn't have a workstation. After some back and forth with HR, someone dropped the ball and didn't tell IT. Surprise, surprise. I'm told to set up a new spot at the counter next to the other ones. I get down there and the spot was already being used by another company giving tours. Apparently, no one told the hotel, who was supposed to tell her to move. But luckily, the other spot on the other side of her was open, and I helped her move all of her stuff. I set up the new computer, CRT monitor, and a big ticket printer. It was the size of a medium PC tower, printing out airplane ticket-sized tickets. Basically, it was clear as day that I was setting up hardware. There was a line to the left of me for my company's agents, and a line to the right of me for the other company. The setup is not communicating back to HQ, and I'm on the phone with a coworker, unplugging and replugging in the equipment, rotating everything around, and checking for the right links, etc., etc. During this troubleshooting ballet, an older couple has walked up to talk to me about something vacation-related. I should have mentioned, it's Casual Friday, so I'm wearing a Billabong brand shirt with blue jeans. The agents to my left are in uniform. The agent to my right is in uniform. I'm in the middle looking like a high schooler trying to fix the computer before dad gets home. I finally see them standing there, and before I can tell them, "Sorry, I'm setting up a new system, you'll have to go to the line over there," Mr. Grumpy says,
Are you gonna help us or are you just gonna stand there?
I'm 20, angry at computer, and it's Friday. I'm just gonna stand here because I'm the PC tech.
Oh, we got a real smart ass here.
Yep. At this point, Mrs. Grumpy decided to jump in, waving her finger and yelling at me with a voice that was rougher than gravel. I don't remember exactly what she started out saying, mainly because her voice was so rough I couldn't understand it. It did end with her demanding my company's phone number so she could get me fired. I gave her an AOL dial-up number that I remembered for some reason. After they stormed off, probably to have another smoke with that voice, a customer in the agent's line next to me said, "I'm not a bright guy, but you obviously aren't selling show tickets or tours." I got back to HQ and told my coworker. He did scare me a bit, saying, "If they're angry, they'll go to the hotel. Who will lead them to us?" That didn't happen, but that did make me a bit wiser about being a smartass. Oh yes, I love, people that are like that because, they really don't have to kiss the customers' butts. Because, they don't work at the hotel, so what are they gonna do? They're gonna be like, "Hey, that man was so mean to me." "Well, were you being a jerk?" "Yeah, okay, I don't care." This story's called "I Don't Work Here Lady" with a little petty revenge against my old boss. Time for a long-ass backstory. I worked at a bar not too far from me from July last year until June of this year. A bar that was owned by a married couple, T and J. I had actually enjoyed working there as a cook and was regarded as one of the good ones, which was sad considering only 3 out of 8 cooks were considered good, and I was the only good cook who worked nights. T was the kind of boss who emanated the my way or the highway attitude and tended to have a meltdown whenever something didn't go her way, or God forbid, she had to fill in for an employee who couldn't work that day. And man, did she make it obvious that she hated working at the place she owned. Last April, I decided to look for a new job so that I could get a little more money since bar cooking isn't exactly the highest paying job ever. But I decided to give a 2 months notice for the sake of the kitchen manager finding someone who could replace me just because I didn't want to leave the kitchen knowing that crap employees were going to be left for nights to defend for themselves. Surprise, surprise, he didn't. T was not too thrilled about me, one of the good cooks, leaving, and she made it a point to be as petty and cold as she could to me up until my last day. Everything she said to me was either a scathing remark, whether it was deserved or not, and never said anything positive to me, even shooting me dirty looks every time I made an order for her. Needless to say, I was a lot happier about leaving that place. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I was going to stop going there to eat, which is where our story begins. This past Sunday, I went to the bar to watch the Lions-Vikings game. A couple of times I shot the crap with a few of the servers and went back into the kitchen to go greet the cooks and catch up, obviously when they didn't have orders coming in. After chatting with a buddy of mine who was working in the kitchen, I went back to my seat, which was unfortunately stationed right by the entrance. Cue the Karen and her husband, who happened to be waiting at the entrance to be seated. I didn't notice her until I heard the all-too-familiar ahem coming from her. I figured she was talking to someone else, so I didn't think anything of it. Then I felt a tap on my shoulder. Oh, great. What? Excuse me, aren't you gonna seat us? Great, they thought I was a server. Ma'am, I don't work here. Karen, looking puzzled. But I just saw you come out of the kitchen and talking with the servers. Your point is? Your clothes even look similar to theirs. How are you not an employee? I guess that was partially my fault. While cook uniforms were black t-shirts and jeans, which I had on myself, their shirts have the bar's logo splashed across the torso. I was wearing a plain black shirt with jeans. Ma'am, seriously, I don't work here. I don't have anything resembling the bar on my clothes. That shouldn't matter. Now hurry up and sit us before I complain to the manager. I'm thinking to myself that this whole situation shouldn't have even been possible in the first place. That no one is that persistently dumb, but then again, I found out about this subreddit and noticed how common it is for people to really be that dumb. So as idiotic as the situation was, I was laughing on the inside about how I managed to get an I don't work your lady moment myself. Go ahead, she's right over there. I point at T, who was begrudgingly waiting tables. Karen waved her over and T came near us. Yes, how can I help you? Your server refused to seat me and claimed he doesn't work here. Who, him? I shrugged. I figured that was the end of it, but I guess I should have known T would still have a petty grudge against me. I'm sorry, he's not an employee. I would have to be an idiot to hire someone like him to work here. Now let me grab you a table. Yeah, I wasn't going to let that comment go. Huh. Well, it sounds like you were a total moron for about 11 months then, T. Of course, feeling spiteful, I said this as loud as I could in the small bar we were in, which most of the bar heard. Fortunately, my tab was already paid for, so before T could say anything, I walked out. Fortunately, her husband and all of the other employees liked me, so I don't see myself getting banned anytime soon. But then again, who knows with managers and owners? Okay, honestly, that she walked into that one. She set it up and walked right into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.